There are currently 120 Easter eggs dotted around London, and I'm going to try and find as many as I can, because finding all of them would be quite tricky. But to be fair, I have until the 27th of April to do so, so I may spend a couple of days this month trying to hunt for all of them. They are mostly in central London. There's a collection over at Canary Wharf too, but this one here is a bit of an outlier. I'm in Bethnal Green outside of the Young V&A Museum, which means from here I'm going to have to get a bus into Zone 1 to find some more. The map, which you can find on the app, which I will leave in a link in the description that helps you find them, does actually have this one labelled incorrectly. I thought it was a bit odd that this one looked like it was by itself in a random suburban street around here. So I've made it to Liverpool Street Station, the busiest station in Britain. I've come across our second egg here. Each of these have a number that you can log onto the app and claim that you've found it. It is a proper search for these though, because again, this wasn't labelled in the correct spot on the map. If you log that you found one as well, you can unlock certain rewards. So I just unlocked a free hot drink, funnily enough for a shop in South Kensington, but if I find myself there, yeah, I might claim it. I like this at Liverpool Street Station, an emblem for the old Great Eastern Railway. So the eggs are close enough to each other in the city that I will do a walk between them, which allows me to pass by the iconic Gherkin building here. I think one of the eggs is designed to look like this building, so that'll be fun to find. I'm kind of surprised the one closest to it isn't the Gherkin egg, here at the base of the Leadenhall building, which is known as the cheese grater locally. So I'm in the fantastic Leadenhall market. There's a fire alarm going off for some reason. I would love to say that I would find all of them, but unfortunately some, and it's labelled on the map, have been taken away for repairs, because that's just what happens if you put stuff out to the public. I was hoping I might come across like the base of the egg so I can still get the code to collect it, but I can't seem to find it, so it's a bit of a shame. I'm already not going to be able to find all of them. Luckily the one here at Aldgate still remains. This used to be a road actually, got pedestrianised a few years ago. Loving the blossom on these trees here too. I'll never be upset if a walk directs me past here. The map does show that this one is in the grounds of the Tower of London. I'm glad it isn't, because I wouldn't have paid the admission fee. This video is going to be so full of finding all of the eggs that I feel like I'm going to have to overlook certain locations which I would usually focus on. I'll do my best to point out a few as we go along, such as the Tower subway here, which was a little railway line that went underneath the River Thames that opened in 1864, but it didn't survive very long. It quickly just became a regular public subway, and there was a toll. Half a penny if you wanted to use it. When the toll-free Tower Bridge opened in 1894, it got sold off to the London Hydraulic Power Company, as not many people were using it anymore. And if you were to go down there today, which you can't, you would just find a bunch of pipes and wires and stuff. But I love, this is just sat here and people overlook it. I certainly did. I walked past it many times before I realised what it was. I guess it is technically the first deep level railway line in London, before the City and South London Railway in 1890, now what's the Northern Line. I mean, it even opened just a year after the world's first underground railway, the Metropolitan Railway between Paddington and Farringdon in 1863. Anyways, I'm now going to take a little walk along the River Thames to our next Easter egg. Recently, we ended a walk along the River Thames on the south side at London Bridge, which I think rather evidently is not the original Roman bridge, nor is it the one that replaced it. London Bridge has been rebuilt a few times. St Magnus de Martyr Church here actually formed part of the roadway to one of the old London bridges, because when they rebuilt it, traffic still needed to cross at this point in London, so they built it side by side. That's why the street nowadays swerves to serve the new London Bridge. But if you come a little bit into the churchyard itself, you do actually come across an old Roman artifact. What does it say here? From Roman Wharf, AD 75. So it would have been right beside this church here where you would have approached onto London Bridge. The Romans built their bridge here because it was the first point along the Thames where it was easy enough to do so. So in a way, I'm really standing on the site of where London was founded. I've turned right away from the River Thames at Southwark Bridge and headed directly up to the very impressive Guildhall building here to find our next egg. Is this the only place in the city of London where you can find a duck? This is a great old church I've not come across before. Just the tower remains. It's in Wood Street, by the way. I've come across our next egg now. It's tucked into a very quiet little courtyard near to the St Bartholomew's Hospital and Smithfield Meat Market. So this is very much reminding me of another art trail we did back at Christmas, which was penguin sculptures that we were looking for around the city of London. And many of them are actually in these same locations: City Thameslink, Ludgate Circus, Cursitor Street, Holborn Circus. But where we didn't go that day was Hatton Garden and here Farringdon Station, the original terminus of the Metropolitan Railway. I like that it still mentions the old name of Farringdon and High Holborn Station, and I've basically done all of them in the City of London now. They are mostly grouped up together, so rather than doing a walk to some of the others, I'm going to catch a bus now. Now, apart from a large collection of Easter eggs around Battersea Power Station, this is the only one on the south side of the River Thames, which means I'm now going to have to cross back over Waterloo Bridge. London in the sun is just gorgeous. I've crossed over to the north side of the Thames. I'm on the recently pedestrianised part of the Strand where, surprisingly, there are 3 different eggs here. I'm also slightly concerned because my map has not coloured in the egg that I found on the south bank, but my statistics say that I have found it, so I don't know what happened there. We've found our next egg outside of the London Transport Museum. I feel like if I was to head into the shop here, I'll get distracted and never leave. I mean, you can see I've been there before from my scarf. It is what it is. There should be a few more dotted around Covent Garden here, which I love. I feel like I haven't been here in ages. You can see how many people have found each egg on the app, and the statistics for the ones around Covent Garden are higher than some of the others I've seen today. Could be because Covent Garden advertises it more than some of the other places we've been to today, as well as all of these offering discounts. Well, that's all 6 eggs complete around Covent Garden. I really like the 7 Dials and Neal's Yard part of it, but I never come to it. I'm over by the Transport Museum side and the old market there. Right, we're going to head up to Russell Square now. There's another few over there, and then maybe I'll squeeze in another quick batch. I'm passing by the British Museum. Apparently there is an Easter egg in there, but it is just closing, so I wouldn't be allowed to go in. You know, I've never actually been in a British museum. This could have been the opportunity today. I guess I'll just carry on with finding the next one here in Russell Square, which might just be my favourite green square in all of central London. And here's our last one around Russell Square here at the Brunswick Centre. Kind of gutted we missed out the British Museum one. I was hoping that maybe it would be like the Tower of London, where it would show that it was inside, but actually it would just be outside the museum somewhere. So what I was thinking of doing at this point was catching another bus over to collect all of the eggs around the Marylebone area. But to be honest, it's taken longer than I thought it would today. I thought there would be a chance I might make it into the British Museum before closing, and I am quite tired now. I've done a lot of rushing around central London. So what I'm thinking is, if I want to complete the collection, I'll have to go back to the British Museum at some point anyways, and maybe on that day I can go and get the Marylebone badge. I also have to get the Leadenhall Market one, which I missed. I am wondering if the app would allow me to type in every possible 4-digit number until I've gotten the correct one, or will it just stop me after a few failed attempts? Also, how long would that take? So I am going to call it a day. I'm in Tavistock Square. I'm just going to walk up to Euston and go home from there. I feel like I haven't even made much of a dent into this Easter egg hunt. I've seen 27, which is not bad going, but there's 120. Yeah, I don't think you can do them all in one day. And the Marylebone... and the Marylebone...